Hey everyone, it's Derek with OPTP, and today we're going to look at 3 ways to improve thoracic extension and sort of mid-back mobility using the original stretch out strap. Let's get started. Okay, our first exercise is going to be one where we start kneeling. This is going to be a combo thoracic extension hip flexor mobility drill. And to begin, I'm going to put my hands equal distance from the center, making sure that they're just outside shoulders width. So for me, that's about 2 loops out to the right and 2 loops out to the left. I've got my hands through. I'm going to get into this kneeling position with 1 foot down in front, 1 knee under the body. From here, I'm going to bring the hands up top. Now, we're combining thoracic extension with hip flexor stretch because a lot of times when our hip flexors are tight, that pulls us forward into this kyphotic posture. That's obviously going to compromise our mid-back mobility. So great combination stretch here to take care of everything. Hands come up. I'm going to displace my center of mass forward slightly, being mindful that I don't arch my back while doing so. And then from here, I'm going to push the backs of my hands backwards just a little bit, just to be mindful of keeping that extension through the back. And then the last thing that we're going to do from here while holding this position is we're going to dip to the side here towards the front leg and then bring it back up and repeat. We can do this while breathing rhythmically for about 20, maybe even 30 seconds here. This is a really nice way to open everything up across the back and across the hip flexors. So make sure you visit both sides, again, 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Okay, for movement number 2, we're gonna set up to begin with both knees under the body here. I've got my hands positioned through the loops just like I did for the first movement. So for me, it's 2 loops to the right, 2 loops to the left of the center. Hands are through. I'm gonna reach up top. And from here, my spine is going to start nice and neutral. We're going to begin with that lateral flexion again, just a little bit of movement to the right and left. We don't want to do anything too drastic here. After we dip from side to side, we're going to bring the hands down, and then we're going to reach up. Every time we bring them up, we're going to look at creating just a little bit more length across the shoulders and the chest, which are areas that can oftentimes, when they're tight, affect our mid-back mobility. So again, bringing it down, reaching high, pushing my hands back slightly, really reaching for the ceiling, and then engaging in that lateral flexion. Great way to open up mobility across the chest, shoulders, and mid-back. Do this one for about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, for the third and final exercise, I'm going to set up again with 2 knees down on the floor, hands equal distance from the center of the stretch out strap. For this one specifically, you can feel free to widen the hands if you need to, just by simply moving 1 loop more towards the outside on either end. For me, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to bring the hands up top. I'm going to make sure my spine is nice and neutral. This is going to be kind of a shoulder press movement where we flex the elbows, bring the strap down, keeping constant tension on the stretch out strap so my hands are pushing away from one another. I'm going to drive the hands up top. Right when the strap gets over my head, I'm going to focus on this sort of backward travel of the strap in my hands, but just a slight amount, nothing too extreme here. And then coming back down, keeping that tension, and repeating as I press, drive it back slightly, and breathe. So if you do have difficulty doing this, or you feel tension or tightness or like any pinching sensation in the shoulders, you can either stop doing this one altogether, or if your licensed healthcare provider gives you a thumbs up, definitely try widening your hands out by just moving towards loops further from the center of the stretch out strap. This will help you greatly in achieving the exercise without that tension and tightness. So spend about 30 seconds on this movement, and that's going to round out our 3 ways to help improve mobility and mid-back mobility and thoracic extension. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Now, to learn more about the original stretch out strap by OPTP, which is one of the most recommended tools for improving flexibility and mobility, just go to our website at optp.com. Thanks.